Look at that view. So distracting.
Let's leave everything and go traveling. See what tomorrow brings. It's only a choice away. Let's back up and leave today. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
So, after a beautiful hike, we all piled back into Goose and headed down the mountain to a nearby town, where Jake and Jordan could catch a bus to their van the next morning. We all spent the night camping in the yard of the nicest little lady. Then in the morning, we refilled our groceries, bid Jake and Jordan farewell and good luck with their van. Then Tim, Goose, and I headed out to explore more random Peruvian mountain roads.
We're at 15,920 right now at a mountain pass.
Just a random one.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, this road, all the roads we've taken the last 5 days were just spur of the moment. There was nothing on Overlander on them, so we just kind of went, let's cut that way and see. I thought it was going to be like big roads, and we've been on some of the tiniest little shelf roads. This one's pretty big. Now we're back on a fairly nice road. Oh, and it's just amazing. Like, this is the most unique terrain I've ever been in. 15,923. Definitely.
Yeah, how do you feel?
Definitely feel like totally easy to breathe because we're doing nothing. We're sitting in a car driving, but I don't know. Definitely, you feel a little weird. You know, you feel a little off. So.
Yeah, my tummy feels maybe a little nauseous.
Glad we've been drinking a lot of water today because that seems to be the best remedy for elevation. But
yeah, it is so pretty up here.
Yeah.
And cold.
Yeah. Yep. It was a session that starts on like the 24th, so it's too...
After the pass, we crawled down and found a nice view and the tiniest bit of cell service, so we decided that made a pretty good spot for lunch. So we took a break and took in the view. After lunch, we continued on, only to find out just how lucky we are. The road had been washed out recently and was just now being repaired, so we waited patiently, and eventually there was a little route through. We waved our thanks and hoped our good luck would continue. It's so incredibly picturesque here. I think we could stop every 5 seconds to take another, like, mind-blowing picture.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. We had no idea we were coming upon it too, so I think it makes it maybe even more amazing because we didn't think this is what we were going to see. This is gorgeous. Like, the prettiest views I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like that right there. Wow.
See, we stop and say wow every 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me
We're not getting anywhere.
Pacific Coast Highway and just go, wow, wow, wow. Isn't that amazing? Look at that little piece of land.
tengo un hijo en Estados Unidos.
No.
See?
Sí, está en Luciana.
Ah, see?
Ah,
We had another little pass in mind. On the map, it looked like it would make it through, so we decided to see if it actually did. As we made our way up yet another steep dirt set of switchbacks, we came across Alberto, and he looked like he could use a ride, so I crawled into the back and we took him up a few kilometers to his house. On the way, he told us he had a son who was working in the US, and after we explained that Goose was our little home, he insisted on giving us one of the heads of lettuce, which he had walked all the way down the mountain to get. Little interactions like this are so special. Even though we speak different languages, are from completely different worlds, and only spent a few minutes together, a little kindness really goes a long way. I'm sure I will never see Alberto again, but I will always have a fond memory of his genuine kindness. Alright, well, we came out of the last little town to not much of a road anymore. It doesn't look like it gets very used at all. It's pretty much in some places just a grass flat spot.
Yeah, like we're making fresh tracks. Like I spun a tire a little bit on a hill. We're not in four-wheel drive, we're just in two-wheel drive, low range for the gearing. And it's so grassy and unlike traveled that the tire spun and created a little muddy spot. And I went, wait a minute. Like, we're the only car, like it's less than a car a day. If it's still grassy, we almost never see that, like in the tire tracks. You're talking very few cars, because just like I did there, you spin a tire and that grass will die right there. So we're kind of shocked, and we hope the road goes through, but when you see a road that's got grass across the whole thing,
Not a lot of use on this
not a
road.
lot of use. So you just hope that it still makes it to where we're going.
So fingers crossed.
Yep. It's pretty though.
Those were really weird little animals. I don't know what they are. I'm gonna Google them when we have service, but they look like squirrel bunnies.
That was the closest thing to a jackalope I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like someone just took those two things and like mushed them together.
Yeah.
Really weird. Pretty cool. Curious what they are now. As we continued to climb, the road became less and less used. We decided we would keep going until either of us thought it was dangerous or just plain stupid. And it wasn't long before we came across a few landslides that had covered the road. Luckily, they were pretty loose and we could dig out a track for Goose easily enough, so he didn't get too tilty. And slowly but surely, we made progress, all the while having our minds blown by the views, the landscape, the animals. It was a completely different world up here.
So we're tilted slightly out on the sandy stuff before that we dug out. At least that had grip. And then when we stood on it, it didn't shake or move, so it wasn't so saturated. This stuff is just mud, soil. And so as I'm driving forward, I can feel the truck slightly sliding this way, so I'm trying to correct it. But if I do any throttle or brake, any heavy input, even steering input, it'll cause us to slide more. And really there's nothing to stop us going off the edge, so I'm just trying to drive in the slowest, most granny, delicate way I possibly can. Because once we start sliding that way, I can't stop it. There's absolutely nothing I can do, so not my favorite. Probably my least favorite. But if we drive smooth enough, I'm hoping that'll be key.
Yeah, it's a bit stressful, but it looks like we're about to get to a little bit drier ground, hopefully. So.
Yeah, and I can see the road ahead. It goes from just tilting out to just being flat,
Yeah.
and then even a little tilt in. And I like the tilt in, fine, I'll slam into the sidewall here, and we'll have to, get max tracks or pull winch line or whatever. But right here, knowing that technically gravity wants me to go that way, and with a slick enough surface, or if I blip the throttle, that'll happen.
Yeah.
This is my least favorite spot right here.
Hold your breath.
Okay. I'm gonna go
And
second
it
gear.
looks like Mordor here. It's crazy.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. And I mean, the way this road is and the condition it's in, I don't know if
First to
anyone's
drive
been
it in
on
a
over.
long
We're
time.
the first to drive it in a long time. There's a motorcycle track that looks like a week or two old. I wish I was on a motorcycle right now.
Yeah.
Even with the mud, you might have to like push to get it over the hill, but yeah, this is amazing. A little more tilty stuff, but it's not saturated, so it's just mud. It's not like snot. I feel like the lower we get, the more dry and the more sand we'll run into. God, look at that view. So distracting. This has to be the prettiest views of the entire trip, and I'm trying to even discount that we worked so hard for it, so I know that heightens it, but even if we just drove up this road and we're just looking at it, I still think maybe it's the prettiest we've seen the whole trip.
We're at about 16,000 elevation again.
Yeah, 16,000. No headache, but you definitely don't feel quite 100%.
We just saw our first vehicle and tire tracks, so we know at least that the van came up this way. So.
And even though it's an all-wheel drive van, we know we didn't do the way we came just because there was no tracks. It was all like slipping, sliding in the mud, and I think it was too hard for that thing to make anyways, but also just no tracks. So now we have tire tracks on the ground. We know they came from this way, and so we know, well,
we don't have to go back and do that, hopefully.
yeah, we don't have to go back. We know that there's a high likelihood we're getting out versus until just then. I mean,
Really?
if you don't see tire tracks on the pass and you're almost at highway, then the washout or the whatever must be ahead of you still. So,
Sigh of relief.
Excited. That was gorgeous. Amazing.
Yeah, it really was like a Mordor, like more than I've ever seen in my life. I think it was crazy.
Well, and then like the layers of earth kind of upturned, and man, that was, what a place to call home.
Yeah, crazy.
We held our breath one last time as we came to this gate, and then breathed one last sigh of relief when it wasn't locked. We had made it. This was such an epic drive.
It was tense at times, but our overwhelming memory from this drive is one of complete and utter awe. Maybe it blew us away because we just stumbled upon it. Maybe it really was just that good. Either way, this drive is my all-time favorite, most mind-blowingly epic, beautifully wild, and so otherworldly. I'll never forget it. Thanks for joining us. If you want to see this whole drive in real time, check out our slow drive episode. And join us next time as we hit Lima and all its traffic. Remember, if you enjoy what we do, you can support us by visiting our website, dirtsunrise.com. Click on the Taco Fund tab, and there you can buy us a taco, become a patron, grab a sticker, or just do your regular Amazon shopping using the link provided, and we'll get a cut. No cost to you.